The Feen are otherworldly beings who occupy the vast Feen wood, the home of the fl'keen. The majority of the Feen are elusive and dispersed, but due to the willing fl'keen who go on Feen quests to encounter them purposefully, much has been learned about them. The average fl'keen encounters the majority of these in a lifetime, though the rather dark ones are usually only watched from a distance. The Feen have uncanny control over the minds and emotional states of the people who encounter them, a power that is unmatched in Abotorus. Many Feen were given names by the Garians, who were not aware that the fl'keen existed when they named them. In the last 50 years, the fl'keen have adopted the use of some of these names. Here are some examples of the Feen you may find in the Feen woods. First, we have the Huel. This strange 10-appendage creature is known for causing crippling hallucinations. The 8 curled arms surrounding its head unfurl like a blossom when it feels threatened, and all who stand in front of it begin to suffer from world-shattering visions. fl'keen claim that this Feen is one of the most taxing to encounter. The hallucinations can last anywhere from 5 minutes to a few days, depending on the age of the Huel. Next we have the Grin Wound. This quadrupedal Feen, named the Grin Wound by Garians, causes those who encounter it to suffer from extreme euphoria. Individuals who've seen one claim that joy and bliss like that which they've felt in its presence is impossible to re-experience. The Grin Wound usually live in small packs. Those who have witnessed their euphoric effects claim that the Grin Wounds laid around with them, or followed them around eerily through the forest while they were under their mind-altering effects. Next we have the Nagging. The Nagging emits an aura that makes any who cross its path enter a state of pure and calm peace. Naggles are oftentimes found sitting alone in the woods, watching flowers and berries very closely. Those who have encountered them claim that they felt totally at ease, and many decide to sit and stare at the foliage with the Nagging. The fl'keen claim that the Naggles are the caretakers of plants, and they watch them closely to make sure their peace is undisturbed. Next we have the Canet. Canets are arguably the darkest of Feen. They whisk away the willpower of lesser creatures, turning them into placid slaves. Strangely, the Canet are never seen issuing commands to the creatures they've dominated. They are usually seen floating through the woods surrounded by unwilling creatures in an aimless way. Sometimes their enslaved followers act as bait to lure other creatures to the Canet, but it isn't understood exactly why the Canet want these slaves in the first place. Now we have the Codel. The Codel is a tiny tentacled Feen who cause all who encounter it to experience a deep and unsatisfiable hunger. Those who wander into its presence become instantly famished and begin scouring the forest ravenously for any source of food. The fl'keen claim that the Codel is the embodiment of the forest creature's struggle for survival. According to their teachings, encountering a Codel helps to pity the less fortunate creatures who occupy the land. Now I direct you to Grub Nur. The Grub Nur makes the world spin in ways it should not. Meeting a Grub Nur often results in intense, debilitating vertigo. The forest sways in unnatural ways, and the ground itself seems to spin on its axis. Its victims seem to tumble violently around as their perception of the landscape is totally shaken. Grub Nurs are very shy, and oftentimes only seen for a few short moments before they scurry off in the distance. Regardless, most people would have a hard time watching one for very long, considering its effects on the mind. Next we have the Duel. The Duel is a small, relaxed Feen who makes beings who encounter it terribly paranoid. Moments after finding a Duel, paranoia takes hold within people and makes them act very wildly. The trees begin to whisper unknowable words, and every shadow seems like some lurking threat. Sweat pours from those who encounter a Duel, as they feverishly hide and run from non-existent threats. Every time a group of individuals has encountered a Duel together, they inevitably turn on one another out of anxiety and a contagious lack of trust. This Feen is usually seen in small groups, and they are usually extremely calm. They oftentimes stare at people who find them while they panic, and sometimes climb into trees to get away from the strange drama below. Next, Der Slundermund. Named Der Slundermund by the Garians, this lanky Feen is the master of nightmarish fear. Der Slundermund's oily neck is covered in strange, gill-like structures which chitter ominously as people approach. Unlike most Feen, Der Slundermund stalks ordinary creatures through the woods. They seem to be able to blink from one place to another, and are the only Feen besides the Canet who purposefully capture people. As their victims are reduced to a gibbering, debilitating, fearful state of mind, Der Slundermund open their bellies to reveal a mass of writhing tentacles. Once bound by these tentacles, their victims are almost never seen again. In the rare event that they are seen again, their bodies are usually found deep within the recesses of the forest, leathery and burst open like a seed pod. It is rare, however, for them to attack fl'keen. The Slundermunds are oftentimes accompanied by Weeping Wisps, small, glowing creatures that are known for leading people astray in the woods. The fl'keen claim that the Weeping Wisps are the children of the Slundermunds. Next, the Rackin. The Rackins are frighteningly bipedal Feen who cause all who touch them to grow mad with rage. These pale, claw Feen sprint through the forest and energetically jump through the trees as solitary creatures. They are very curious creatures, and sometimes seek out strange noises. Those whose paths cross with a Rackin say that they hear strange feverish mumbling as it approaches. Interestingly, the mental effects caused by the Rackin only begin if you make physical contact with it. Sometimes, because of the Rackin's curiosity, this is unavoidable. The moment someone touches the Rackin, they become berserked and have a ferocious bloodlust. The Rackin usually attempts to sprint away, uninterested. However, the crippling anger that their touch creates sometimes leads to a bloody altercation. Regardless, the effects of this encounter usually last a long while, leaving the unfortunate wanderer raving through the woods like a madman for hours. Next, Clinkesser. The Clinkesser, an ape-like creature who primarily resides within the thick branches of the Feenwood oaks, is a type of Feen that causes a deep adoration for all things. The fl'keen claim that the Clinkessers are the physical embodiment of love and friendship. Those who see one usually slip into a deep state of bewildered adoration for whatever is around them, be it the trees, the Clinkesser itself, or other people around them. In fl'keen beliefs, encountering a Clinkesser is a testament to the love that exists within the world, and is supposed to teach you to love more and harbor deeper friendships. Some tribes of fl'keen search out a Clinkesser to be the witness to their life-bonding rituals. The Clinkesser usually does not mind the company, as it spends its days lethargically eating leaves and twigs and isn't easily scared. Next, the Weeping Wisp. The Weeping Wisp shares few traits with the other Feen. They do not seem to have bodies beyond their glowing form that floats above the ground, and they wear no masks. However, it is widely accepted within fl'keen culture that they are indeed a type of Feen. These incorporeal creatures are known for leading people astray deep into the Feenwood. They usually appear at the edge of the wood and dart to and fro as a way to grab a creature's attention. When someone gets close, they dart into the ground and reappear further into the woods. Though they seem playful, it is bad luck to follow a Weeping Wisp. While some legends say that these Feens sometimes lead wanderers to strange riches and beautiful groves deep within the woods, they are known predominantly for leading people to treacherous areas occupied by Der Slundermund. Next, the Dream Esser. The Dream Esser is a tiny, stout little Feen who is known for causing people to fall into a deep sleep. The dreams that people have while under the influence of a Dream Esser are usually very strange. Visions of eldritch ages long past, swirling dreams of flying through the stars, and enigmatic scenes of giant iron cities are oddly common. Even stranger, some people have walked upon Dream Essers preying on sleeping individuals. These people found the Essers digging their tiny spiraled spears into the temples of the sleeping person while chittering nervously. Any efforts to understand just what the Dream Essers are doing have proven ineffective. Once they have skittered off, they leave no trace of their presence other than a single tiny pinprick in the temples of those who they've made sleep. Up next, the Gleader. The Gleader is an odd-looking fiend with 4 eyes, no arms, and thumbed feet. These unassuming little creatures cause those who find them to become extremely strong-willed and confident. While under the effects of a Gleader, a person becomes extremely driven and grows the confidence to tackle all of their struggles and goals. The Gleader's powers usually last quite a long time, often weeks. People who cross paths with the Gleader return home refreshed and self-assured. For a while, these people do not doubt themselves and truly believe in their dreams. Encountering a Gleader is regarded as one of the most lucky encounters according to the fl'keen, because of the deep sense of hope that the Gleaders imbue upon those who encounter them. However, sometimes the effects are strong and the wanderer becomes a little too confident, which does not always fare well. Finally, we have the Dunter. The Dunters are very rarely seen, and when they are under the imprisoning effects of the Canet. It would seem as if this kind of fiend exists solely to wander aimlessly, shackled to the floating Canets. Interestingly, they are the only fiend never seen wearing masks. Not much is known about the Dunters, including where they come from, whether or not they harness any abilities like the other fiend, or why the Canets seem to always be controlling their actions. In the language of the fl'keen, Dunter means unfree, a name describing their constant shackles. Want to know more about the other creatures of this world? Check in the description for the Ides player materials.